What? The Science Guy. What? The Science Guy. What? The Science Guy.
Science rules.
What? The Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
The Science Guy. The Science Guy.
The nervous system gives humans ability to make various parts respond to stimuli in coordinated ways. It has communication lines to detect, process, and call for responses to information about conditions inside and outside the body. Right now, the action of me opening this door is actually my body's response to my brain telling me what to do. Think about the complexity of your brain. All nerve cells send tiny electrical signals all over your body. Let's go and take a closer look. Sensory neurons are activated by sensory input like vision, touching, and tearing. They send this information into the central nervous system. For example, chemoreceptors sense chemicals. Taste buds have chemoreceptors to detect chemicals dissolved in liquids. Your taste receptor cells are connected to a sensory neuron leading back to the brain. A single sensory neuron can be connected to several taste cells in each of several different taste buds. The sensation of taste, like all sensations, resides in the brain.
This is really good. Try some.
Damn! That's some good syrup!
I know, right? It's like a party in my sensory receptors.
Taste buds going crazy!
So moving on. Interneurons integrate sensory signals and activate or suppress motor neurons. They are located in the central nervous system and conduct signals between neurons. They act as middlemen between and are communication links between efferent neurons that carry commands to the body and afferent neurons that relay sensory inputs to the central nervous system. Information may go through several interneurons to reach the destined target cell.
Campbell rocks.
Campbell rocks!
Campbell rocks. Campbell rocks.
Campbell rocks!
Correct. Campbell rocks.
Campbell socks!
Trampling socks. Trampling rocks.
Trampoline rocks!
No.
As you can see, in the first game of telephone, Aziz got the message across loud and clear, and this is how the nervous system should work. However, in the second game, Aziz's message was completely wrong, and this can happen in the body. It's known as multiple sclerosis. Motor neurons are signal effectors of muscles and glands to carry out responses that lead to movement. In vertebrates, a motor neuron can only be contractile. They cannot directly relax muscles. The only relaxation of muscles is caused by the inhibition of motor neurons.
I'm Gen, and I am a runner. My brain helps me keep to the finish line. Running is more about your brain than your body. Your body helps you to move on, but it is your brain that helps you to the finish line.
Did you know that there are more nerve cells in the brain than there are stars in the Milky Way? Now you know.
Your nerves are long, cord-like communication lines that extend throughout your body.
These are electrical wires that transmit electrical currents. They are encased in an insulated jacket that keeps the wires from short-circuiting with neighboring wires so the electrical current can travel quickly and efficiently along the wire. Nerves are long-distance cables of sensory and motor neurons, also called axons, between body regions. These axons are wrapped in a myelin sheath that speeds signal propagation.
Your nervous system is made out of two main parts. The central nervous system consists of your brain and your spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system includes all sensory and motor nerves that extend through the rest of your body. You have two types of peripheral nerves, somatic nerves and autonomic nerves. Somatic nerves are responsible for your senses. They conduct info from receptors in skin, tendons, skeletal muscles to central nervous system. Hume uses her senses when she chomps down her food. Her somatic nerves send information like the taste of the food to the brain. Autonomic nerves carry signals to and from your muscles. They dictate movement. The names make it easy to picture. Central nervous system is the central control center, while the peripheral nervous system stretches out to send and receive information to and from the control center. The brain plays a central role in the control of bodily functions like awareness, movements, sensations, speech, and memory. Spinal cord is connected to the brain and carries signals back and forth between the brain and the peripheral nerves. Put simply, sensory nerves send impulses about what is happening in our environment to the brain via the spinal cord, and the brain sends information back to the motor nerves, which help us perform actions. Take a look at a person being slapped. When the physical force of Hirsch's hand reaches Josh's face, pain receptors activate and send the impulse to the brain through your spinal cord. The awareness of the pain makes Josh feel anger. His brain sends signals to the motor nerves of Josh's hand and arm and makes Josh kill Hirsch.
So your nervous system is like the mafia, and by this I mean you have your central nervous system, which is the mafia boss. He's the brains of the system that controls the underlings and control the messengers in the mafia. And you have the spinal cord, which essentially is a messenger that conveys the messages between the mafia boss and the little gangsters or people who are in the mafia. And essentially your peripheral nervous system is the non-important people who do the dirty work. Like, in this sense, they could be like the sensory neurons or the motor neurons who receive and convey information.
Hey boy, come here.
Yes.
Who is this Josh person? He said he owes me money. I need that money now.
Yes, Sahib.
I don't care what you do to him. You can take him, sell his organs, sell his legs.
Okay. Hey, you two, go beat that Josh guy up.
Will do.
Will do. Let's go.
Hey,
Hey, you get out of
you
here!
owe some money.
So how exactly does the communication work? Chemical synapse is the region where signals from a neuron are received and transduced by another cell. The neuron sending the signal is a presynaptic cell. Neurons receiving the signals are called postsynaptic cells. A neuron can receive messages from many neurons at the same time. It sums all signals by amplifying, dampening, and canceling the effect of competing signals. Neurotransmitters are signaling molecules, secreted into a synaptic cleft of the neuron's output zone. They have excitatory and inhibitory, sorry, that was wrong. Sorry again.
No, it's okay.
It is not always necessary for a sensory impulse to reach the brain in order to trigger a motor response. Your reflex is the simplest path of information flow. It is an automatic response to a stimulus where a sensory neuron links directly to a motor neuron at a synapse in the spinal cord. Observe.
Tapping a tendon below the kneecap causes the leg to jerk involuntarily because of the impulse provoked by the tap. After traveling to the spinal cord, travels directly to the leg muscle.
Our humanness starts in the cerebral cortex, the region that processes and coordinates responses to sensory input and governs conscious behavior. The body is mapped out in the cerebral cortex, and each part is responsible for different areas of the body in terms of motor movement and sensory reception. Okay.
Did you know that the frontal lobes of the cerebral cortex control skeletal muscle movements on the opposite side of the body? Now you know.
The cerebrum is divided into two halves or hemispheres that receive and process diverse signals. The left hemisphere deals mainly with analytical skills, mathematics, and speech, and the right hemisphere interprets music and assesses visual inputs.
Your left brain has nothing right.
Your right brain has nothing left.
Just think about it.
The nervous system is way cool.
Twinkle, twinkle, brain of mine, how I think you're really fine. Up above my head so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, brain of mine, how I think you're really fine.